Hello, folks, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your Joe Tone Love here for your Summerslam. Yes, Summerslam review for 2023. Like I said, my last WWE related review was WrestleMania. And I thought that was good. Again, slowly but surely have I been still keeping up with WWE. Obviously, I mostly review AEW, but nonetheless, figure why not. It's a good card. It's one of the big four. For WWE, how it used to be with WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. Well, we'll see how it goes, but last I saw the highlights of SummerSlam, and they were fun. So, thought to review, shall we? So, now, quick mention. So, for my AEW Collision review, I'm not sure why, but being very slow and uploading. Yes, it is ready. Yes, I did record it over this weekend, but I'm not sure why. It's a bit of a delay, longer than expected, but alas, it should come up for anybody who's been wondering about my AEW Collision review. So, it'll be there, but alas, we're here to talk about SummerSlam, which was a fun card. Pretty much couldn't complain about the card. Balor vs Rollins, was going to be fun. Gunther vs Drew McIntyre. I will say, one of my favorite things is how Gunther has been treated on the main roster. I remember when, when he was in NXT UK when he was Walter, and there's reports of how he doesn't want to live in the States, how, there was doubt that, because of the Vince McMahon regime, that he would be relevant on the main roster. But alas, when he came in the fold, when, Triple H really took over last year, and then, Vince did slowly come back at the start of the year, but now again it's up in the air based on Vince's newest news. But alas, been glad for Gunther. LA Knight, it's crazy, but surely so. Obviously, because this is my first time mentioning him on the podcast since WWE review, but LA Knight, his rise and how over he has been over the last number of weeks, especially gearing towards Money in the Bank season, when obviously I was I was disappointed, but at the same time happy for Damian Priest that he won it, Money in the Bank. But yeah, LA Knight didn't win, but he did win the Battle Royal on SummerSlam. So nice little, I guess, moment for him. But nonetheless, we did have some good moments on the card. The main event, I will talk about it a bit and how the ending, look, I've been following the Bloodline storyline for as long as possible for someone who has been reviewing WWE. And, with Jimmy Uso, costing his brother, Jay, the Undisputed, which, by the way, the new titles have been, well, annoying, but with Jay being cost the title by his brother, I'm pretty much going to say that, look, we know that there's nothing as good as the Bloodline storyline, especially on SmackDown. But nonetheless, they're trying to prolong it as much as possible. So, it is what it is. At some point, they're going to run out. Because, you got, especially no Sammy, you got Reigns, who also there was report that he was injured during the match. I don't know. But you got Reigns, you got Jay, you got Jimmy, and you got Solo. Pretty much they're going to try prolong this as possible. And I assume at the end, we may get Solo. Well, the way I see it, there's one of two ways in which the Bloodline storyline will officially end. A, when Cody, or if Cody takes the title off Roman and completes the story at, say, next WrestleMania. There's that. Or B, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy and Jay's younger brother. He ends up taking the title off Roman, and then there's that saga. So, we'll see, but they're trying to prolong it as much as possible. I'm not saying it's been bad, it's been a fun storyline, but when you have a storyline this long, eventually it's going to wear out. That's all I'm going to say. But it's been fun, and we'll see. But with that out of the way, enough talk. Let's get into the review, shall we? So, Logan Paul against Ricochet. So, now, this was Saturday. So, You know, Logan Paul had quite a Saturday. He beat Ricochet in the opener. Well, that's probably why this was the opener. Because he beat Ricochet in the opener and then had time to go see his brother and win a decision over Nate Diaz. So there you go. But look, I can tell, at the end of the day, Logan Paul is an entertainer, YouTuber. Regardless of what you want to say, I mean, look, he is definitely my favorite of the two, simply because he is full throttle. I mean, he's not a full-timer for WWE, but when he does wrestle, he wrestles some of the best that WWE has, and he gets it done. He gets it done. And he shows out, and commend him for it. But this match with Ricochet, combined with what they did at the Royal Rumble, this just made for a good match. So, and the way Logan Paul did this kind of snivelly thing at the end. So, we know Ricochet and Samantha Irvin, the very good women's announcer for WWE, are, I think, engaged. So, or at least have been dating for some time. So, we'll get to that. So, match is good. Paul had really the offense early. He had a nasty looking neckbreaker on the apron. Back in the ring, he had running power slam for 2. Ricochet, he had a sky high, like a spine buster. Small comeback. Then they were fighting on the outside. Ricochet is Spanish fly. And then we know, and this is probably what they did, close to what they did a couple weeks ago, but for those who watch NXT Black and Gold, one of the best moments from NXT Black and Gold, old NXT, was Ricochet when he was feuding with Velveteen Dream. He did that dive over the top after Velveteen Dream was on the stage or the rampway, and he said, anything you can do, the Dream can do better. So Ricochet did that dive over the top and landed on his feet on the ramp. Went up to Velveteen, got on the mic, and then said, then show me. As Velveteen just looked shocked and mouth wide open, didn't know what to say. So there was that. But a couple weeks ago, they kind of did the same thing. The crowd there didn't look too happy or just didn't care as much for that spot. So it was silly. But one signature move Paul does is similar to the buckshot lariat Hangman does. He does like a springboard flip into the ring and then does a lariat. He did like a flip on the outside into a lariat on Ricochet on the outside. Ricochet, then they were back in the ring. He had a cutter off the top as they were both on the top rope. Good spot by Ricochet. Then he went like a shooting star 4-2. Paul, this was a nice spot. He went for a moonsault off the top, and Ricochet caught him, but similarly to what Orange Cassidy did and Rey Mysterio used to, I don't know if he still does it, but he was caught and then transitioned to a tornado like DT on Ricochet, so that was good. Ricochet then went for a shooting star at the top. Paul got the knees up, but only for a near fall. Then hit a beautiful looking springboard frog splash off the top for a 2. Ricochet followed up. He landed a springboard moonsault, then for a near fall. So the finish match came. So Ricochet went for his signature 630, but missed Paul. Paul managed to get brass knuckles, and then one of his finishes is the right hand, and he used that to knock out Ricochet. Paul on top for the win, and Samantha Irvin, who was very upset seeing what happened. She reluctantly had to say Logan Paul was the winner. And then Logan Paul, in a dickish, heelish manner, told her to say it one more time. And obviously she's not obliged, but yeah, funny. So next, we have Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. My thoughts on this feud was very little explanation. I think we can all agree. There hasn't been much story to this feud. This has been just a feud to give Cody adversity, pretty much, as they continue to try to build him in the way they aspire to, while prolonging this title reign, I assume, of Roman Reigns. So, insert Brock to feud Cody, and this match, I didn't see their other ones, but this match was fun for what it lasted. So, obviously, Brock was on the offense for a certain amount of time. Landed a bunch of suplexes, seeing if Cody would quit. He would land a suplex on Cody on the outside and go for a count out. Cody made his way back in the ring. Then he hit an F5 on the outside. Looked nuts. And then through the announce table, went F5, which broke the announce table. So there was that. So after a while, Cody got up, made his comeback, and From what I gather, I don't think it was. I think it was a regular match, not no disqualification. So Cody fired back, sent Brock into the post on the outside, hit him in the face with the steel steps, and then back of ring he hit not one but two Cody cutters, only for a near fall. So Brock tried to lock in the Kimura, but Cody managed to fight out of it. Went for a Kimura of his own. So then Brock then went for the F5 once again, but Cody countered, slipped out of it, landed not one, not two, but three crossroads on Brock, giving him the win as Cody vanquishes the Beast, seemingly, at SummerSlam. After, in what Triple H said at the post press conference, said was unplanned. So Cody was waiting for Brock to get up, and apparently they had a stare down, and they butted heads, and ultimately Brock got out offered a handshake. Cody obliged, and they embrace. Brock raised the hand of Cody, and an ultimate sign of respect from the Beast to Cody. Yeah, that was a fun moment, I would say. And hopefully this feud is over. What does Cody do next is ultimately unique to see. How they keep him going, before he eventually... If he takes the World Heavyweight title for Rollins, it won't feel as special, because we know he's being built up, and it seemed like he had a really good chance of taking the title off Roman at Mania, and then they didn't pull the trigger. So, I don't know. We had the Slim Jim Battle Royal. So, this had a lot of guys in it, Bronson Reed. We had Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. We had a bunch of guys in there. We had Karen Cross, AJ Styles, LA Knight. We had a bunch of guys in this. So, kind of take it towards the end. So, the final four: LA Knight, AJ Styles, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed. Those were the final four. So, Reed got Knight on his shoulders, but Sheamus with a bro kick, or it was actually double team. He helped eliminate Bronson Reed, and then it came down to Sheamus, AJ, and Knight. And Sheamus eliminated then AJ Styles with a bro kick. So then it became Sheamus and Knight ultimately knocked Sheamus off the apron for the win, and LA Knight gets, a good spot. Again, without he's been over, deserves a spot, and gotta give him credit. I mean, when I saw him in Impact TNA, I could tell he had something. Then he comes to NXT, kind of molds himself to LA Knight, did well, and then up on the main roster, he's done very well since molding back into LA Knight after that stupid Max Dupree gimmick, but now he's where he's need to be. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Bazler. This match was very hit and miss. This was a match that should have been in the fight pit. How they had in NXT. But it didn't go that way. It was basically a glorified MMA match in WWE. And ultimately, because we had a feeling Rousey was on her way out, and ultimately Shayna choked out her friend Rousey and got the victory. See here, and yep, I mean, happy for Shayna. I mean, go figure, at least Rousey put her friend over before she left, but I mean, this felt like a misfire. Felt like it should have been more. And yeah. Next up, well, I think some will argue, including me, this was match of the night. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, another guy who has been derailed as maybe not happy and opting for a new deal or perhaps not wanting to resign is Drew McIntyre. But ultimately returned. Now, he may still not resign, but he did return early this year at Gunther for the IC title. And this match was very good, as you expect. And I've already said much about Gunther, but yeah, this match further impressed, and it seems more likely now that he will break Honky Tonk Man's record next month, and I'm up for it. He's great. Best heel in the business right now besides Roman, or in WWE besides Roman. But yeah, this match is good. Found the outside for a bit, and Gunther dropped McIntyre on the top of the steps. Looked like it sucked. Back in the ring, they were throwing haymakers back and forth. McIntyre got the advantage. He had a pair of suplexes and then a neck breaker which double down. McIntyre went up, got up, went for the Claymore, but Gunther ducked and Gunther went for the powerbomb but missed. Drew followed up with one of his own and then hit the Future Shock DT, but only got a 2. True athleticism by Drew. He hit a tope, calling Hero to the outside. And then went for the Claymore again, but Gunther intercepted, hit a drop kick instead, and then followed up a powerbomb, but for near fall. Then in the ring, they just started beating each other up, hitting chops back and forth. Eventually, Drew hit the Claymore kick, but only for a near fall. Then they were exchanging on the top rope, and Drew accidentally landed on the top rope, getting throttled, and then Gunther sees the opportunity, hit a big top rope slash, followed with a lariat, and then powerbomb ultimately for the win. Gunther retains and more than his first SummerSlam, and more than likely going to break Honky Tonk's record. I remember for a while when there was a streak of the IC title not being defended on pay-per-view, and now Gunther's been on this journey of a reign with the IC title. I mean, back to my WrestleMania review, I mean, when I said that Gunther, Sheamus, and McIntyre had probably the match of the night for WrestleMania, I mean, you couldn't really argue, and this match was delivered as well. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was fun. I was quite curious how this match was going to go down. Because, I mean, we love Finn Balor. I mean, it sucks how he has not been world champion since. I mean, he had a tattoo on his shoulder, or where his labrum was, that set the word 7, hence 7 years since he made his SummerSlam debut. He won the title from Seth, but in the process he torn his labrum off that buckle bomb spot on the outside, and he had to relinquish it on Raw the following night, and he hasn't really rekindled that momentum since then. And you just didn't know, because, I mean, Rollins, he hasn't really done much, really, with the title since winning it. I mean, AJ Styles pretty much said himself, it's like a consolation prize, not the true World Heavyweight title. Anyways, this match delivered, I feel. So, Rollins hit a lariat early, followed with a Falcon Arrow. Then on the outside, I will say, Rollins' entrance seems like it's getting more cheesy and more just like out there. I almost have to say that. It seems very okay. Anyways, so Rollins hit 3 suicidas on the outside on Balor. Balor then targeted the shoulder of Seth. Kind of homage that encounter. He hit sent Rollins' shoulder first into the post. Then going back to that match, he landed a buckle bomb to the barricade on Rollins, almost the exact same spot as Balor injured. Well, I mean, with the way he landed and just how it went down is just. But I mean, more homage to that match from 7 years ago. Crazy. So, Balor's back in the ring. He had Sling Blade with a final cut for 2. Then he walked in armbar, going back to that arm of Seth's. But Seth powered out, muscled Balor up, hit not 1 but 2 buckle bombs in the ring. Then a frog splash for a near fall. Balor then followed up. He had a corner drop kick. Went for the coup de grace, but Rollins got up. Went for his superplex into Falcon Arrow combination, but when Balor rolled through, he countered into a roll up, only got a 2. So Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank, he arrived to try to cheer on his fellow Judgment Day member and Balor. So behind the referee's back, he hit a right hand on Seth. And then Balor hit a pedigree of his own for 2. So the rest of the Judgment Day, they came out, Rhea and Dominic. Seth then hit a curb stomp, but only for a near fall. Seth then did a dive to the outside on both Priest and Dominic. Back in the ring. Balor capitalized. He had a Sling Blade. Went for the coup de grace again, but only for a near fall. So, this still coming into play because, well, you got JD McDonough, aka former Jordan Devlin, the protege of Balor. And there's been little dissension between Damian Priest and Finn Balor last couple weeks. So, Priest got up on the apron on one end. He set the briefcase in the corner. He distracted the referee, and as Balor went for the briefcase, left himself vulnerable, and Seth took advantage, hit a curb stomp on this Balor onto the briefcase for the win. And Seth retains. Was a fun match. And you could see, Seth was eyeing Priest. And Priest and Balor were looking at each other. And Priest was shaking his head. I mean, feels like they're going to turn on Balor eventually. Just the way it seems. And here's the thing. Where they go with this briefcase of Priest, it's tough because I would like for him to... He is a future world champion. That's the thing. But the problem is, I don't know. He may... If it's up to me, I would have Cody taken title off. I mean, right now, Roman's not going to lose that title for a while. I mean, defends it less, but say what you want, but it just, to the Money in the Bank briefcase, I don't see it happen. And Damian Priest. Seth, what I would love to have happen is Gunther being the one to take the title off Seth. Priest I wouldn't mind, but Gunther right now seems more ready than Seth or Priest. So I mean, that's just my take on it. Next we had Charlotte versus... We had Charlotte versus Bianca Belair versus Asuka. This match wasn't too familiar with the build-up, because Bianca had strap, and Asuka won it kind of out of nowhere on Night of Champions. And then get to this match, Charlotte once again inserts herself into this. It's So get to this match, and the match is alright. I mean, really what happened afterwards was the great part. But match fine. The finish was different. I didn't like the finish. So Charlotte, she locked in the figure eight on Bianca. And while she was in position, because of course she pushes off the mat and her head's upside down, Asuka, in like a sniveling way, she used the miss and blinded, spewed it in Charlotte's eyes, so she's blinded. And so it's like she doesn't know, and then Bianca, who's struggling, Asuka went for the attack, and Bianca out of nowhere, she rolled up Asuka for the win. So there's that. Then the finish after. So Iyo Sky, great for her, great for her. Severely underrated. She was out there with Bailey, and the Kokai, and they attacked with the briefcase. They attacked Charlotte. They attacked Bianca and Asuka, and from out of nowhere, Iyo cashed in the briefcase, hits her. She may have the best moonsault in the business. Iyo Sky. The way it lands is impactful. And she lands the moonsault on Bianca, cashing in 1, 2, 3, and Iyo Sky is the new women's champion on SmackDown. Great for her. I mean, like I said, she's very underrated. It's great for her. And yeah, I mean, look, Bianca had a long reign. Asuka, her reign came out of the blue. I mean, love Asuka, her reign, but didn't feel much going into it. I mean, the problem with women's wrestling in general on both brands. But glad for Iyo, great moment. I mean, yeah. Not much to say. Roman Reigns in the main event versus Jey Uso for, forget the name of the championship, but Undisputed Universal title. Anywho, this match was good. I will say though, I'm a little annoyed how it seems like in every Reigns match, it seems over the last year or so, it just seems like there's always interference. If I had to critique it, but this match is good. Knew that Jey wasn't gonna win the title, but he put up a good fight. So Jey had the offense for a while, and then set up a table on the outside. Kyle was mocking Paul Heyman. And then from out of nowhere, Roman Reigns gets a kendo stick. Started wailing Jey with it. Jey eventually got his revenge. Basically, kendo stick melee on Roman. And then Jey knocked Roman to the outside, hit a tope over the top. Looked like he went for a splash on Roman in the ring, but Roman caught him midair with his Superman punch for a 2. He doesn't have the best Superman punch, that's all I'll say. So, Jey then got a chair, started hitting Roman a few times, tossed some pile of chairs in the ring, went for a superplex on the pile of chairs where Roman slid out, landed a powerbomb on the stack for a near fall. Then table I mentioned set up earlier. So Looked like Jay was on the apron. It looked like Roman was trying to knock him off into the table. They were struggling for a bit, but Roman took the brunt and got a Samoan drop off the apron by Jay through this table. Nice spot here. Now, one mentioned, so they said on the tope earlier that it looked like that was the spot where Roman got injured, potentially. So then Roman tried to go away. They were fighting in the crowd, get some separation. Solo, obviously, we saw got involved. And for a bit, it was 2-on-1. Jay then speared Roman through the barricade. Says that Solo looked shocked. And Jay was back in the ring. He had a spear on Roman in the ring and hit top rope Uso splash. But then we see this masked figure, hooded figure, pull Jay off the cover and out of the ring. Turn up to be Jay's brother Jimmy. And a strange spot. I mean, like I said, trying to prolong this feud as much as possible since the best thing on SmackDown and probably WWE. So, there's that. Jay was stunned. Jimmy had a super kick on Jay. Roman back in the ring. Same with Roman. So there was a table set up in the corner. Roman with a spear drove Jay through the table. And that was enough to get the victory. 1, 2, 3. As Roman wins the battle in the main event and retains once again. There was that. So yeah, good stuff. Good card. Not sure. Maybe we'll see. But it's good to do another review of pay-per-view again for WWE. First time for a while. So yeah, it's good. Good round. But yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. If you liked this video, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, see what happens after. But yeah. Hopefully my AEW Collision review eventually gets up. So for those wondering, like I said, slowly but surely it should go up. But yeah, take care, guys. See you guys later this week for Dynamite and Collision. So stay safe. I'm out. Peace.